Blood, warm, metallic, dripping down my cheek. The plate had shattered against my face, porcelain shards glistening like tiny knives across the table. I didn't scream, I didn't cry, but they laughed. My mother's laugh was sharp, cruel, a sound I'll never forget. "Worthless things don't deserve families," she said, pushing the broken pieces toward me as if I was supposed to clean them up with my bare hands. And then my father, sitting in his chair, heavy with judgment. "Even trash has more worth than you." The room echoed with laughter, my brothers, my sister, the people who shared my blood. That was the night I stopped being their child. That was the night I became something else. It hadn't always been this way. Once I thought family meant protection, love, safety. I remembered being 7, clutching my mother's hand, trusting her warmth as we crossed the street. I remembered Dad lifting me onto his shoulders, calling me his shadow. But those were illusions. Little fragments they dangled before me only to rip them away. By the time I was old enough to fight back, they'd already trained me to accept cruelty as normal. I was the scapegoat, the punching bag, the reminder of everything they despised. And that night at dinner, the plate, the laughter, the blood, it was my breaking point. I wiped my face clean. I looked at all of them. I didn't say a word. But inside, I promised myself, "You will crawl before me." The shift was quiet, invisible. I didn't argue anymore. I didn't rise to their bait. They thought they had broken me, but I was sharpening myself in silence. I worked. I studied. I left that house the moment I legally could, alone, empty, but focused. While they mocked me as a failure, I built skills they didn't understand: law, finance, systems, the levers of power that controlled their comfortable little lives. I tracked their debts, their habits, their weaknesses. Dad's drinking, Mom's gambling, my brother's shady business dealings, my sister's reliance on her husband's money. Each flaw, each indulgence was a loose thread. All I had to do was pull. And I pulled patiently. 5 years later, they didn't laugh when they saw me again. They barged into my home like they still owned me. The same arrogance, the same venom. "You don't have a family," Mom hissed, her voice still sharp, still cutting. "We'll take the house. You owe us that much." Dad smirked. "Even trash can't hide forever." I didn't argue. I didn't shout. I simply excused myself. Walked into the kitchen, dialed 3 digits, 911. "What's your emergency?" "My family has broken into my home. They're threatening me." My voice was calm, controlled, the kind of voice officers trust. By the time they realized what I had done, red and blue lights were already flashing through the windows. But that was only the beginning. The police found the warrants, unpaid tickets, fraud reports, my brother's illegal imports. I had made sure every string was pulled at the right time, every file delivered to the right desk. Their crimes weren't my lies, they were their truths, exposed under a spotlight I had angled perfectly. One by one, they were taken apart. Dad lost his business when the IRS froze his accounts. Mom's gambling debts surfaced in court, stripping her of her precious reputation. My brother's company collapsed under federal investigation. My sister's husband left her when her dirty secrets came to light. None of it was illegal on my part. I hadn't lifted a single fraudulent finger. All I did was hold up a mirror and let the world see what they really were. And yet, it wasn't enough. I needed them to feel it, to understand. So when I walked into the visitation room at the county jail where Dad sat in orange, shackled at the wrists, I leaned across the table. "You remember dinner?" I whispered. The smirk drained from his face. His eyes darted, searching for an escape that didn't exist. "Trash," I said slowly, savoring the word, "has more worth than you." I watched him flinch, and in that moment, I knew he remembered everything. Justice isn't loud. It doesn't always roar or scream. Sometimes it's quiet, precise, surgical. The sound of a pen signing a warrant, the click of a handcuff, the silence in a courtroom as truth is laid bare. They wanted me to crawl. Instead, they crawl now. In cells, in debt, in disgrace. And me, I stand. Not broken, not worthless, but sharpened. When I close my eyes, I still feel the blood running down my cheek from that night. But I don't feel pain anymore. I feel power. They thought laughter would destroy me, but it only forged me. I was their shadow once. Now I am their reckoning.